Hey everyone, it's Helen. This is my final for Professor Wheeler's class CIS 3367. For my project, I was inspired by my brother who loves to play the violin. I thought to myself, what if he could make money from teaching people how to play the violin? So today I made an imaginary business where he and a few other people would teach others how to play the violin. So here you see that I named the business musicians and an income statement. First, we have revenue, and the main revenue, actually, the only revenue the business has is from the number of students who come and get lessons from my brother and other people. So we have that first number of students. Each session is one on one for 1 hour, and the students pay per session for which is $50. So we have hours per session, $1, per session, 50, and total number of sessions, 1. We are assuming that every student who comes here will only come for one lesson and never come back. I know this scenario doesn't happen often, but let's just see how this will work out. So to get the total revenue, we multiply number of students times hours per session times dollars per session and total number of sessions. For variable expense, I'm also assuming that all the students have their own instrument and equipments needed to play the violin. Therefore, the business will not be spending money to buy violins for the students. The only variable expense would be music sheets and books students will be playing, so that would be 263. So for total variable expense, we will multiply the number of students times average variable cost per student. Next, we have fixed expense, which is salary for 1,500, rent for 1,000, advertising for 300, and utilities for 1,100. To simplify things, I put utility in fixed, even though I know that electricity, water, and gas will vary depending on how much the business uses. But let's just assume that it's 1,100 for utilities each month. So the total fixed expense would be the sum of these four, which comes out to be 3,900. Lastly, we have the summary. Total revenue, which comes from up here. Total expense, which comes from the sum of variable expense and fixed expense, which is 3,900 for now. And to get net income, we use revenue, total revenue minus total expense, which is negative 3,900 right now. So now we will use Solver to help us determine how many students the business needs to break even. Oops. Okay, so to use Solver, first we go to Solver. To use Solver, we put in constraints, what we want to solve, and which variables will change the objective. So our objective is net income. So we press the cell for net income. We want it to break even, so we want the value of 0. And the net income changes. Ooh. Oh, okay, it's still clicked. The net income changes based on the number of students, so we press this cell. For constraints, we want net income to be equal to 0. I also want to add the number of students to be integers because there is no such thing as a fraction of a person. So, okay, make sure this is checked, and it's simply LP, simplex LP, solving method. and we press solve. So here solver is telling us that there's no solution, and I think what happened was that the number of students for the company to break even came out to be a number that was not an integer. So to solve that, to fix that, all we have to do is get rid of that constraint, press solve again. Yes, solver found a solution. Okay, and we see that the company needs 82.33 students. So as I said before, we can't have a fraction of a person. So I would round up to 83 students for the company to break even. Because if it was 82, there would still be a loss. Now that we use solver to break even, let's try to use solver to see how many students it needs to make a $5,000 profit. In this scenario, I changed it up a bit by changing the total number of sessions to 10 because, like I said before, a student who comes in for only one lesson and never coming back does not sound likely. So maybe students would come in for maybe 10 sessions or maybe 15. 10 sessions sound like a good number. So I'll be putting $10 per session will stay the same and hours per session stay the same. Everything else stay the same. So to solve that, we do the same thing again. Solver. The variable it changes is number of students. Value this time we want 5,000. Objective net income. Constraint net income equals 5,000. Okay, make sure this is checked and solving method is simplex LP. Press solve. Found a solution. Okay, and we see that the company needs 17.89 students, which I will round up to 18 students, and in this per month. So in this kind of situation, it sounds more likely where 18 students come in a month to learn to play the violin, because before we needed 83 students, and I don't think there's 83 students coming in every month to learn the violin. So that's how you use Solver for the income statement on Excel. Thank you for watching. Bye.